Let's take a look now at a situation that's been brewing in Salem with Oregon Governor Tina Kotek's office and the role that her wife, Amy Kotek Wilson, plays in her administration. In case you missed it, it all started last month when three of Governor Kotek's senior staffers, Andrea Cooper, Abby Tibbs, and Lindsay O'Brien, all left the job on the same day. That's quite a statement. Willamette Week reported that the three left because they had ethical concerns about Kotek's wife, Amy, and her increasing role in the governor's office. Then last week, another senior staffer, Communications Director Ann Doe, handed in her resignation letter as well. It's an odd time to suddenly leave the job. Kotek had just had a short session where most of her priorities passed, and it was only a year into the administration. Something's wrong. Through a public records request, we got our hands on 6,000 pages of emails involving the staffers and why they left. They show that there were some big concerns among staff as Amy Kotek Wilson began to take on a bigger role in shaping the governor's behavioral health policy. A lot of reporters have been following this pretty closely and sifting through all those emails. Here's politics reporter Dirk Vanderhart from Oregon Public Broadcasting.
I think I would break it into maybe three main baskets. The first one is a concern about use of resources. So the First Lady has been pushing for an expanded role in the administration, and that has involved more use of staff time for the things she wants to do. So state police, they protect the governor wherever she goes. The First Lady was now receiving more of that protection, and that raised real concerns among staff members about the use of time of the state police. It extends to communications staff. The First Lady was making appearances, making speeches, and whenever she was doing that, she would sometimes request spokespeople to be there to help her with a speech, or maybe a policy advisor to come along on those events. And I think that raised concerns about limited staff time and whether that was the best use of governor's staff role. And then there was just maybe a larger piece of concern, which is around ethics and the blurred lines that this kind of scenario creates. We saw some very, very, I think, candid emails in there about concerns that were raised by members of Kotek staff about, what are the ethics around this? Are there concerns about, if I have, as a staffer, an issue with your wife, can I bring those concerns to somebody, or am I automatically going to lose that argument?
Good questions. Now, for a lot of you, I know this story is ringing some bells. It might remind you of another Oregon governor, John Kitzhaber, who ultimately resigned because of the role that his fiancée, Sylvia Hayes, played in his office. Reporters we talked with today say there are some big differences to keep in mind.
This is not Kitzhaber right now. That was a scandal that had roots in the first fiance, the First Lady at the time, really getting financial gain from her role in the administration and the influence she was able to provide on a slate of things. The First Lady in this case is an unpaid volunteer. We have no evidence that she is taking these kind of paid appearances or getting any sort of money for the role that she is holding. So I think comparisons to Kitzhaber, I understand why people make them. I think they are a little premature at this point, but I don't think we all know where this leads right now. And it's true that there are some concerning pieces in the emails. There's an instance where it appears Governor Kotek directed her staff to make a call to a behavioral health agency in the state, basically as a favor or to address some concerns that her wife's friend had. Now, what kind of sort of blurring of the boundaries does that pose? I mean, there's a very frank email that suggests that was very much out of bounds, and that in fact Kotek and her wife had been warned a number of times about exceeding or abusing the authority of the governor's office. What does that mean?
Well, for now, the governor's office is not commenting on that and what that means, or really anything else. Our team is still sifting through the mountain of emails. As the story continues, though, we will keep you posted.